What's up, guys? Lance, the Obscure Movie Guy, coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that hopefully you do care a little bit about. Trying to change the world one post at a time. And it is Friday the 13th. It's not Halloween, but it is Friday the 13th. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring up some sort of Friday the 13th film. But I don't want to just bring up any Friday the 13th film. I mean, let's be honest, there's way too many of them. Way too many of them. But on behalf of my friend Jason Pitts, I did want to talk about his fan film for Friday the 13th and a continuation thereof. So, today we're going to talk about Voorhees Night of the Beast, where we see Jason take on Sasquatch, Bigfoot himself, in an all-out clash to the death. And it is pretty awesome. Let's take a quick look at the trailer.
Look, Mark he hasn't slept through the night since he's moved in with me.
This is a bad idea.
You ready to do this?
You shouldn't go in there.
Now, if you go, you're doomed. You're all doomed!
You don't think he's really out there, do you?
All I know is there's been a shit ton of bodies out there over the years. I'm more inclined to believe the legend than not.
That's a fairly expensive question, John. I'm not sure you want to pay that price.
Go to hell, you son of a bitch! Well, what's it cost?
Give me a hand. I suspect we'll find more bodies.
So Jason did a damn good job directing this, and this is a really, really good fan film. Now, there's a lot of fan films out there for Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th, and a lot of things that are, you know, Jason versus Michael Myers, Jason versus Pumpkinhead. I think I may even heard or saw something about Jason versus Sarah Connor at some point. There's a lot of fan films out there. Friday the 13th, much like the horror genre that I've talked about before, has a very, very devoted following. And Jason is one of those guys. Jason Pitts is a huge fan of the Friday the 13th franchise. And I'm not big on horror. I'm not big on Jason, not big on Michael Myers. But from an artistic standpoint, this was a film that was done by fans, specifically for fans. If you're a fan of the franchise, then you're going to enjoy watching this, because not only is there a lot of the standardized horror elements, there's a lot of the standard slasher elements involved with this film, but there's a tie-in to some of the other films. There's a lot of little Easter eggs laid around for the folks that are in tune with the franchise that they can pick out and be like, oh, and it kind of gives it a connective tissue to the rest of the franchise, even though it's just a fan film. And I shouldn't say that it's just a fan film, because it is an hour long. It is an hour long. It was actually done with a fairly decent sized budget, like $15,000 or something like that. And they did well with everything. They really did. But there's a lot of connective tissue between the fan film, what Jason made, and into the franchise itself. The storyline kind of revolves around Mark. And as to my understanding, Mark was one of the kids that was hiding under the bed in like Jason 6. So he was one of the little kids that was a part of the murdering spree that survived, but he's struggling with this PTSD. So his girlfriend tries to, you know, kind of like take him back, face his fear. And then, you know, it doesn't go well. Nothing ever does for any of the campers at Crystal Lake. But the other connective tissue, the other big one for me, was that if you were a fan of, what is it, Jason Goes to Hell, the last Friday or whatever it was, there's a character, Creighton Blake, who is played by C.J. Bernard in Night of the Beast. And he was kind of the standout for me. His acting was really well done. Guy seemed real comfortable and kind of natural in what he was doing, and it was really enjoyable to watch. And so you kind of got a little bit of a connective tissue there as well. So you've got somebody from like part 6, they kind of mesh with the last Friday, and they kind of come together with this storyline with, you know, there's kind of like a road that divides Crystal Lake and then like the wooded area where the Sasquatch is. And then there's, you know, there's the Bigfoot hunting party, and then there's the kids at Crystal Lake, and they all just kind of converge on this storyline, and you get this battle between Jason and Bigfoot, and it was all just really well done. Well done all around. I really, you know, it's an hour long, and it doesn't play out like it's an hour long because the momentum builds throughout the course of the film, which is kind of, it's very well done because it's very reminiscent of pretty much those types of style horror movies, the Michael Myers and the Jasons, the Freddys. It kind of builds. It's like a train trying to leave the train station. It starts off real slow, and then it starts to gain a little bit more momentum, and then it gets going and going, and then once you're up to speed with everything, and you're like, oh, this is coming together. It's like a snowball effect rolling downhill. It just gets bigger and better as it goes along, and that momentum continues throughout the course of the film. So, but there's more to it than that, because Jason Pitts is now coming out with a sequel to Voorhees Night of the Beast, and it is Voorhees After the Beast. And that's going to be premiering on the 15th, come Monday, but I got to see it because I'm awesome and I'm special. Not really, but Jason wanted me to watch it and take a look at it and do a kind of like a non-spoiler review, because it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. So Voorhees After the Beast is like 18 minutes long, and there's some recycled footage, not only from the original movies from the franchise, but from Night of the Beast as well. So there's some recycled footage. It's about 18 minutes long, but it kind of plays like an interlude, you know, like it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's a sequel. It's an interlude between what is going to be the sequel. It's kind of like when Fast and Furious came out, and then they did Too Fast, Too Furious, and then they were like, oh, let's try and bridge the gap. So they made that like little like 6-minute film with Paul Walker, like showing him going across the country and getting a skyline. That's kind of like what After the Beast is. It's going to be that little interlude that bridges the gap between Of the Beast and then what's coming next. And what's coming next is going to be awesome. I can't wait for it, and I can't spoil it for you guys. But definitely check out Night of the Beast if you're a horror fan. Not even a horror fan. If you are a Jason fan for Friday the 13th, check it out. It is super well done. And then come Monday, check out After the Beast so you can see what's coming next, because what's coming down the pipeline is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait, and I'm super excited about it. And I wish I could tell you guys more. I really do, but you just got to watch it and just feel it out for yourself. And C.J. Bernard, Creighton Blake, that is going to be a fun. That's going to be a fun film. So basically, towards the end of this, Creighton's the only one that really survives this whole endeavor. After the Beast, you know, he gets called in from one of the victims from Night of the Beast to go searching for her body, and he told her, like, nobody survived. You know, well, they didn't find the body. Well, she's dead. It don't matter. You know, like, everybody gets killed at the hand of Jason. That's just the way it is. It's like that in all the movies. You know, maybe except for 6, because Mark survived. Now he's dead. But he did an amazing job, and he wants to tackle Jason. He wants to take on Jason eventually, but he's not ready to. You know, in Night of the Beast, there's some lore there about, you know, and he's kind of like a possessed demon that's taken over this body, and you know, that kind of plays into After the Beast a little bit. They kind of show how that happens. And, you know, and it was all, you know, it all stems from this Book of Death that Jason's mom had acquired way back, you know, kind of bridging the gap to the original Friday the 13th, the first one, why he is what he is, why he is the way he is. So, But let's, real quick, you know, I just want to make a quick comment about the aesthetics of Night of the Beast. The special effects, you know, it's low budget film, but it's a high budget fan film, and they worked really well with what they had. And Jason looks legit. He really does. Jason looks legit in the film. The Sasquatch, I mean, the Sasquatch is a Sasquatch. It's easy to be cynical when you're looking at a fan film, but if you don't appreciate how much work and effort goes into trying to bring something like that to life, you know, don't mock it. Don't knock it. They put a lot of hard work into that, and I think everything turned out really well. So that's my take. I wanted to do this on behalf of my buddy Jason. Me and him have been talking a lot online, and I wanted to do this for him, and I'm glad he let me, you know, be one of the few that got to see the quote-unquote sequel, as I call it, an interlude, if you will, bridging the gap to what is coming down the pipeline. And I really hope he's able to get the third installment essentially worked up for this, because that's gonna be a good time. That's gonna be a good time. It really is. So Creighton's on his way to Michigan to seek a guy that might have some knowledge about this book and try and figure out what he can do to get ready to try and take on some demons. So it's going to be interesting. I'm telling you that right now. So, but that's my take, man. I hope I did Jason some justice, not just the character, but Jason Pitt's the man. And check out Voorhees Night of the Beast. And then on Monday the 15th, be sure to look up Voorhees After the Beast and see what I'm talking about. Like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. Check out Jason Pitts on YouTube as well. Like, subscribe, and comment to his channel as well. Hit that bell icon for notifications in the future. I will see you all in the next video.